Okay. Okay. So let's get started then. So per the agenda, there are a few items as William requested in the morning, and Janice might be joining late or so. To discount and promotion, which is the first topic, we can take it later. Let's take search functionality as well later because it might have certain questions. So let's move to the third topic first, which is about the new flags to be displayed on PLP or homepage. So this is the requirement that we have received, over the InVision or the Visual Designs link from Neetu itself. She's asking over there the question that is it possible to have the flag information to be displayed on the products on PLP or yes on the PLP page as well as on the home page wherein we are displaying the featured products. So per us, yes, we can do that. The only thing is we need to have that data from the from PIM in the product XML itself. So that would be more, that is the only way to have this data in the automated way. And the another thing is we can just capture anything. Right now we have like 2 flags right now that is new or running out of stock per her understanding. But in future, if somebody wants to have more flags, maybe few left, running out of stock, or maybe bestseller, featured product, new product, those kind of things. So that can be managed using the in the product XML itself. So our suggestion is to have this data in product XML. We will give the tag which can be used in PIM to add that data and send it to us. Also, this data can be changed in Magento once it is uploaded to Magento using product XML. And but the only thing is if anytime in future the full product load or whenever the data product XML is received by Magento and that data or the full load has that tag again which will have separate value. So in that scenario, the value which has been added by any of the ASABloy admin using the backend Magento will be overridden with the new value which is received in XML.
So to clarify, will Magento accept any data in this field from PIM, or will it have to map to a table in Magento?
So we would like to have this data in PIM, which can be received using the integration using the product XML.
So if we create new values in PIM later on in 6 months' time, we don't have to update you guys. They'll automatically come through on the product update and be accepted?
No, Campbell, it is not like that. First, we will have to decide certain labels, and only that labels will be displayed on the product page or the PLP page.
Right.
Because it is something which, from the design perspective as well, each particular tag will have different color and different maybe something like that. Correct. So in that case, first correct configuration will needs to be happen at Magento side. Then only it will be displayed. Okay, just like other attributes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. Just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
So any other question on that particular topic? So definitely we'll take a buy-in from Mike only, or because we don't have per Mary, we need to have someone from the PIM team, whether it can be accommodated or not. But when I checked with Nirjay, he said that there is a tag available in the product XML which can be used to send that data from PIM. So definitely we'll take buy-in from Mike or maybe from Neetu for this approach. But we would just like to discuss with everyone so that everyone should be aware of what we are planning to do for this particular topic.
Sounds sweet.
So shall I move to the next topic?
Neetu's on the call now. Sorry, Neetu, how much of that did you catch?
I missed a few things. So I understand we were talking about flags. Is that correct?
Correct, Neetu.
Yeah, and we are waiting for Mike to add that information in the product XML file.
So yes, Nitu, the thing is that the questions that you have asked, whether it can be automatically available on the product and can it be changed using the Magento. So all those things can be done, but the initial initiation needs to be done from the PIM itself. So the thing is like in the product XML, we can ask Mike that this is the label which Mike can use to send that data from PIM to Magento.
Yep.
So we will just connect with Mike again, to identify that we have already identified the label in XML. We'll just ask Mike, is it possible to have or send this particular data which is captured in PIM to Magento using this label, and then once it is in Magento, if somebody wants to make changes to that flag in Magento itself, it can be done, but we are just talking about the consequences. If in future, after receiving the value, if somebody wants to and somebody has changed in Magento itself by going to that product, again when we receive the XML, which could be full load or which could be like delta XML of the product having that tag information, in that scenario the value which has been changed manually will be overridden.
Okay, so that's something it's possible to do.
Yes, it is possible to do in Magento.
Okay, that's good. And for Australia, we also need the run out stock tag as well. So I had spoken to Mike and he said it's possible to get that information in the product XML file as well.
Okay. So in that case, we all are sorted. We have considered two flags. One is new, another is running out of stock.
Yep.
So these are the only two flags we have right now. We are specifically mentioning the flags, reason being there, how they're going to display and what color will they going to take on the on the product and on PLP page. That's why we would like to, explicitly mention these flags. So every flag will going to have a separate color so that it'll be eye catchy to the customer and they can accordingly see it.
Yeah,
Another
just
thing, we'll just display these flags only on the PLP page, not on the product detail page.
Not can we add like as a text maybe if its flag is not possible?
I just wanted to understand the rationale behind it, because we generally don't display on the PDP page, but if you provide, we can do that, right, Najesh?
I think Kushbu, just to add a couple of pointers here. One is like when we're deciding and finalizing the flags, so we also need to be careful about the number of characters that needs to be displayed, because if the flag like
Correct.
this, if I talk about the one running out of stock, I believe that's going to be a bit too long, and you would not have space to accommodate that in a flag itself that we are showing. Right. So we need to be careful about the number of characters. The other thing is that Neetu, for the for the PDP page, I think we are already showing a couple of information on that page itself, on the card itself. So adding a few more information would make the card a bit more crowded. Because I think you already having that whether it's out of stock or something like that as the product indicators over there itself. So, is there any specific rationale behind what is the reason to add this? Because you already passing this information as the product indicators on the card itself.
Julia, what's your thoughts on this? Should we display that information on the product details page or not?
I think from UX standpoint, less is always more. I personally, again, it's difficult because we will not be creating user testing scenarios and we will not have actual user testing part, which is, look, we'll have to live with it. But I think without user testing, I think let's not. If everyone agrees, let's not do it.
Yeah.
Particularly on the new items and that though. Run out stock, I guess inventory will somewhat cover that, but new items won't. So we would have no indication whatsoever of a new item versus an existing item.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, Because I think that's exactly what I was after. That running out of stock is already captured as the the inventory indicator that you are passing out on the PLP page or probably the PDP page itself, right? So that would not make any sense. New, of course, is something that you would like your customers to get
Yeah,
directed towards.
yeah, yeah,
And pre-orders and stuff like that would
Yes,
make sense on
correct,
PDP.
right.
yeah. But also, I'm mindful of the fact that if we are to use too many different flags
Yeah,
in different places, it will become so busy and visually
right.
will be so busy for people to digest what is it that we are highlighting. And also, just to mention, depending, of course, on how many flags we will actually agree on, let's have a look holistically on what visual execution we will be using there in terms of different colors and shades, because again, it will be conflicting to use, say, very similar colors in, one particular aspect of the screen and so on. Can we have potentially like an overview of how different flags will be executed, what different shades we will be using and so on. And also I'm mindful of accessibility in terms of the color used on the screen as well.
Yeah, the other instance that struck my mind is consider the fact that we have three different products with three different labels being
Exactly
displayed
right. Yeah.
on the feature product. I don't think that would be very eye-catching. Rather than have one max two, labels, unless and until it is like absolutely necessary. So I mean, we have to be very careful because otherwise the page would look quite clumsy.
Yeah,
especially for the
completely.
mobile application as well.
Yes, right.
Also on PDP page, we are displaying the product brand logo as well.
Yes,
So
right,
in any
correct.
case, we don't have a space there.
Right. So, only concern that is left. So, the conclusion of this point of this topic is we will not display the flags on product detail page. The concern that Sachin has raised about the number of characters. So, can we have like up to 15 characters or 12 characters
Are we
to
sure
be
about the number
displayed?
of count that is to be displayed on the flag?
Right now, the running out of stock is going to like 18 to 20.
No.
And if I look at so I'm coming to that. If I look at the product card on the Envision, maximum, I think 16 to 17 characters are being accommodated in single row.
I think if we are to say instead of running out of stock, just running out, I think out of stock implies we can potentially
Stock
get
run
away
out.
with just running out.
Yeah. You tell us how many characters you've got, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, maybe
Does that sound?
yeah, let's come back to it because I'm not sure about the number of characters on the flag. I think what you are indicating is more about the indicators, character spacing, or
Yeah.
yeah, because that has to be reconsidered because I don't think you have 18 or 15 characters on that. It has to be
And
less.
also,
If I'm
and also
not wrong.
another important point to consider is mobile execution. If we are to have too many labels, too many visual highlights, this will look very, very difficult for people to understand on mobile or small screen.
My suggestion is to
Agreed.
keep just one flag which is new.
Yeah,
Uh,
agreed.
yeah,
Yeah,
one
agreed.
flag which is new because that is like a eye-catching thing you want the customers to be aware of that this is something which is coming up as a new product or probably something down the line. So you can
Yeah,
have pre-orders booked for that, and that would look much better as compared to like a couple of others.
So on the current mock-ups that we have, there's like discount
And
as
new.
well.
Yes.
So we will remove
wouldn't
it.
suggest to have that either.
Yes, we will not display that discount. So initially the intent of displaying the label is to get a buy-in. This is how the flags will look like. It could be bestseller, discount, new, featured, those kind of things. But that was just for your buy-in. So definitely discount will not be a label.
yeah.
Yeah, because you are already capturing that information in the card below that it
Correct.
was initially this discount then, and then now it is at this price. So I don't think that discount label will also make any sense of
No.
putting it up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we agreeing to the fact that we have only one label new now?
So Julia, running out of stock, it was suggested by sales, Steve Weeks. Do you think we still need that?
Well, from my point of view, no. But if Steve wanted it again, potentially he will need to be, contacted, and we will need to put it forward to him why it's not used. We can, work around how we actually display this on the screen. But in terms of flags, definitely too many flags is very difficult for user to digest. Yeah.
If you want to soften the blow to them, you could offer to create a run-out category. So just at the bottom of all the categories, you can have one that's run-out or clearance or special deals, and you can duplicate the items in there, so customers know they can go straight there and see clearance items in that.
That's actually a good idea, Campbell. I like the sound of that.
We have them occasionally.
Yeah.
That's it for the week, though.
I was going to say, now you can mute my microphone.
We can find a work around any of that, I guess, if, all we need is just flexibility to work with the system. But to have like permanent visual execution with, 2 or 3 different flags is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And pardon my ignorance in case if I'm not aware. So how do you get this information whether the product is getting out of stock? It's more like from the inventory or from the warehouse itself you get this information that the product might be running out. Is that the right understanding?
There's a product attribute in PIM for a run out product.
Okay.
Okay.
So it has.
For new products flag, what criteria will be used?
So is this question to us?
I think.
Yes.
I think it's something
This is
that.
we don't have any criteria for it. It is something the simple label or the text which will be available on the product, and we'll just display it.
So we put the information in PIM, and then that will come through with the product XML into Magento.
Yes.
So it'll be up to us to maintain it.
Yes, exactly. You need to decide the criteria.
And if it's coming from PIM, you're expecting a different tag for every different type of flag that we have. So it might be new equals false or true, run out stock equals false or true, or discount equals false or true, and so forth, like depending on how many there are.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Probably in PIM we'd just do a drop-down table of the actual values.
Correct. Campbell is incorrect, yeah.
So we currently don't have those fields in PIM, like for new items, we don't have that additional field to define like it should be displayed as a new item. So,
No, but we're going to talk to Mike about it.
Mike already, yeah.
Yeah, because he'll also need to add it into the XML file.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And also, just to say, potentially, especially with new products, maybe a thing to consider how long a product is considered to be new. Is it for 6 months, 3 months? Just so that, again, that is automated. When it's no longer new, that flag is removed automatically, potentially.
Yeah, they'll all be down to the product managers to make those decisions about their products when they're working in PIM. You can all feel free to laugh at that.
Category somehow so that, new is defined by 3 months in market or, 4 months in market, that kind of stuff, after launch.
I have just one more query. Will there be any situation wherein the flag contains the value? Say, suppose if we agree to having the running out of stock label, right? So wherein we agree that the flag would have the value running out of stock, and the inventory indicator says in stock, Melbourne.
So the inventory indicator and the way that that's calculated using the system actually goes looking for that ROS flag in the ERP first. So if it was to come from PIM, it would also be in the ERP, which means both of them would return the same value.
Yeah, so in case if we are going to have the same value, right, there is some logic behind it, and that's how it works. So are we still going to use the running out of stock because it is somehow linked with the inventory indicator as well?
I think there'd be just two separate fields. If we were to use a flag that was run out stock, it would be in addition to any inventory mark that came through. And if we don't use the run out flag, then it won't be a consideration.
Also, New Zealand doesn't do the run out of stock in AX so much, not in that way. So we would need both values to come through because they'd have different implications.
Okay.
Also, just to clarify, on each and every product, only one flag will be available. There will never be a scenario wherein we'll be displaying new as well as running out of stock on a single product itself.
I think there would be only one
But when
single.
we-
Yes. So I just wanted to put this point.
Yeah, and that's why when we talk to Mike, we'll just make sure he understands that the PIM field needs to be a drop-down field, which means only one value can be selected.
Yes.
That sort of eliminates the problem.
Okay.
So Kushbu, I think the action item on our side would be to share the number of characters that the flag field can accommodate.
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that. So shall we move to the next topic? Silence means yes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes,
Yep,
please.
sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So I'm picking the shorter ones, which have since we are having only 2-hour meeting and we have a lot of things to discuss. So I request you all to time bound the topics. If we get exceeded, it might we need to follow up tomorrow in another call to have the closure on these topics or maybe some more. So the next is stock status message and availability tag on checkout page. So we would like to know, do we really need to display these two information on the checkout page as well under the order summary, or can we skip it? So
It can be skipped, so it doesn't need to be viewed past the cart. So compare and order history and confirmation, all those things do not need to include it.
okay, great. So Campbell, is it yes from your end as
Yep,
well?
New Zealand's agreed with that.
Okay, great. Okay. Moving to the next one, the brand logo dimension.
Kushbu, just to clarify, but it should be shown on cart page, right?
Yes.
Yes, please.
It's only about the checkout page.
Okay.
So, sixth point is about the brand logo dimensions. We do know that there are a lot of brands available using which the customer can provide the filter and can view the product detail page, and on the product detail page itself there is a brand logo available. So right now we would like to know, we would like to have some samples from you guys for the different brands so that we can place that information. It is intended to have that what is the placeholder, what would be the dimension of the different brands. Will it going to be in a rectangle format, or it can be a round, those kind of things. So we'll just fix the container on the product detail page where the main image is being displayed.
Yeah, I can send you the examples I've got already loaded in PIM.
Okay.
Basically what I've done there is I've chosen a dimension and I make everything conform to that dimension.
Okay,
So
can
I will
we
send those through to you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we are assuming that we'll get some samples for that
Yeah.
from PIM.
But they'll just be indicative of what shape we use. So if you've got a set size available, I'm
would
probably
prefer
happy to take it.
We would prefer round, I believe, instead of rectangular. If all the brands which are being, used in Asablaw in different countries, if we get the brand images in the round format, that will be really eye-catching over there. But I don't know whether all the brands which are being present on New Zealand or Australia or maybe on the different websites, ASEAN or Korea, every brand has their logo or in the round format or the circular format or not. So
I think we can just decide the brand logo should be transparent with a given
yes,
size.
Yes.
So if
So,
either that is a rectangle or
Yes,
round, whatever it is,
that
it
could
will
work.
yeah,
display automatically,
yeah,
correct?
it won't matter. Yes, I think Najesh is right. Yes.
So do you prefer PNG format, having transparent background?
Yeah, it is
Yes.
something. Yeah, it is something that only thing. It will be good if we provide all logo in same format. It should not be we are providing one logo in JPG and another in PNG and then another in different format. So it would be good if we can just have and can we all can stick one format with the brand logo. Okay.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. I will
And
share our brand logos with you soon.
Yeah.
cool. And are you expecting those to come through on the XML file from PIM?
So in XML file we will need the brand logo
The
name,
brand identifier, the tag,
identify, yeah, and with the
which
media
should be there
we can
now.
have the sorry
And so the brand identifier will be in the PIM file now,
print file, yeah, yeah.
but are you expecting the brand image to come from PIM as well with all the other images?
Correct, with the media folder.
Sweet, cool.
Yeah.
We'll give that to Mr. Mike. He'll be happy.
Okay, so moving to the next about the thumbnail image. This is just for the demo site whenever we provide the demo, as well as once we move to the staging environment. There could be a possibility that there are certain products which do not have image at all. Right now, if you have seen in the sprint demos, when the product does not have any image, we are displaying that magento a logo over there. So can we have a default image if the product does not have any image to be displayed on the PL product listing page, product details page, or anywhere within the website?
So is this for the live website as well?
Yes, we can utilize it for the live website as well.
So will it be consistent among like all the different entities, or it can be different from Australia or New Zealand?
In my opinion, it should be consistent along across all entities. Okay, because it is something which we are just deciding the placeholder, not the product actual image. So whenever there is a case, if there is a no product image, then that placeholder image will be displayed there.
Right. I'm not sure if this is something which needs to be provided by Mary, if it needs to be used by like all entities.
That we can confirm, I think, whether Mary can provide that information or not.
From New Zealand's point of view, we're not really too worried because if we don't like it, we'll just add a picture into PIM.
Yeah, actually, Campbell, yes, in that case it is correct, but
Yeah, we
there
already
are
have one there for
yeah,
image coming soon, so we can just
correct.
spread that out to everything.
Yeah. So
That will make Anton happy with our numbers.
sorry.
They'll keep Anton happy with our numbers. We'll go to 100% of items have images.
So we can just decide one placeholder image, and if there is no image, then we can use that image. That's it. So I think maybe we can confirm with this Mary if she can just provide one image, and then we can proceed forward. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just connect with Mary over the same, and then we'll just take it forward. This is like we do believe it'll only appear when there is certain products like coming soon kind of thing, which are not yet ready for selling using the website, and or the product is available but the image is still in progress, those kind of things. So right now we don't want to display that Magento logo in the placeholder. That's why we would like to have this image. Otherwise it's fine.
Sweet.
Okay, so moving to the main topics, can we start with the quick order, Prashant, first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's get started with the quick order. So just to set an intent in the meanwhile, Prashant, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So over here, the visual designs that we have proposed and how the Magento default works, we would like to take a buy-in. There is something difference over there, and then Prashant can walk you through, and then we can decide how we'd like to proceed with for this functionality.
So I'm sharing my screen. Please confirm.
Over to you,
once.
Prashant.
Yeah, thank you. So please let me know once everyone can see my screen.
I can see it here in New Zealand.
Same.
Okay. So this is the default behavior, or this is the default functionality for quick order, the way Magento provides. So what it does on a single page. So for Magento, either you are adding the product one by one, or you are adding the multiple SKUs, which is a kind of a paste functionality which is available in WebSphere, or whether you are uploading a bulk file. For Magento, all these three formats comes under quick order, right? So this is our actual quick order, which is currently available on WebSphere. So the way it works is you can either search with the product name, or you can search with a particular SKU, right? And by default, it appears with one quantity. When you choose a product, then you can change the quantity. So the way it works is the moment you select a particular product, it automatically shows the thumbnail of that product, the price, the name, and the quantity that you have entered manually, and automatically it adds one more line once you are done with the product.
Can it display the SKU as well when it retrieves it? Because there may be some images that look very similar, but they may be different SKUs. I'm thinking particularly around powder-coated items.
Yep, we can add that.
SKU can be retrieved and shown here. So the only difference that we could see here is if we go by WebSphere way, or if we go by the way visual designs has been prepared. In both the cases, we are upfront showing 5 open line, and then there is a add more button for the customer if you go by the VDs that we have designed. So in that case, what we were proposing earlier, there will be 5 open lines. So user can first add product 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if he needs the 6th one, he has to click on add more. While if we go with Magento default way, in a way it is more convenient to the customer that when they are done with the first product, automatically the second line appears. So they need not to click on add more. We are actually saving one click here.
How do they add it to the cart from there?
Okay, this is a good question. So let's say I'm done with these 2 products. At the bottom, I have an add to cart button. So unless you are done with all your list, it will not go to the cart. And let's suppose I'm adding a random SKU. So which is a error here. It is not a particular SKU, neither a product. So add to cart would be disabled, which means first customer would validate all the things here. Once all the validations are removed, let's say once I remove it, okay, then only the add to cart would enable now, and then I can take it to the cart.
That's right.
So now if I add it to the cart, there were already 2 products, now it will become 4. It actually shows the total count, 11 plus 1 plus 1. So this is how it works for quick order. So we just wanted to have a buy-in from your end. Would your customers be comfortable going this way, the way Magento provides this functionality?
That looks fine to me. How does it work with the multiple items using the comma?
Okay, so by default in Magento currently, you can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So just imagine it is paste order the way it is available in WebSphere. But in paste order, we provide SKU along with the quantity. So we can have multiple items along with the quantities. But in Magento, for now, it only accepts the SKU, but what we are doing, we are going to customize it so that it can have SKU along with the quantity. So let me see one of the product just to show how it works as of now. I'm copying this SKU. This product.
Can we add two SKU? Then it will be more clear.
Yeah, I can have one.
All right, so it pops it up the top.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
if you are entering multiple, it's just a comma separated way. So the moment you enter multiple items in a comma separated way, you click on add to list. So it actually populates your products in a format of quick order, what we were seeing earlier. But the only limitation is by default the quantity would be 1. So there could be a scenario where, let's say, customer has added 50 products. So it is going to be a cumbersome job for the customer to now change the quantity of those 50 items one by one. So what we are thinking, if we can use this format, only we can customize it, like along with this queue, if we can also accept the quantity.
Sweet. With quantity, what happens if there is a minimum order quantity?
So,
or multiple quantity?
Yeah, in that case, let's say if this product accepts the minimum order quantity of 20, right?
Yep.
And if we go by default this way, where we are not providing any quantity, so in that case, if this product accepts the minimum order quantity as 20, so 20 would appear here. Even if we are going with this way, and let's say we are adding the quantities as well, we are customizing it, and let's say this product accepts 20, but I am adding 15, so by default it will turn that 50. Either it will throw an error so that I should change it, or it should automatically convert my 15 into 20, which is the minimum order quantity. So that experience needs to be checked because we are customizing it for now. I mean, we are working on that.
That sounds good, mate.
Just wanted to highlight something to everybody, and also thinking about like smaller screens as well, maybe mobile screens. We are looking at product line item where we can bin one item, but we cannot add one individual item. So potentially we should be having bin and add button as well next to each line item as well, instead of having just one add button at the bottom of that list. And at the bottom we can have add all instead of add.
Okay. So what I'm getting here is, so if you're saying if there are multiple line items, so you need one individual button which says add to cart against each product, so that individual items could be added.
Yeah. And I think on small screen, at least this gives a user flexibility to add instead of scrolling down to the very bottom of the screen and then adding from there. And that final button can be add all if required.
But in that case, a validation should appear. Let's say this product is already added. I click on this individual button. Suppose add to cart is here.
Yeah.
And when I'm going down and I click on add all to cart, so in that case, a validation should appear. Otherwise, it would add 2 items. I mean, this item would be added twice.
Yeah, I think keep it simple.
So,
our users aren't the brightest sparks on the planet.
So Prashant, can you, for the smaller screens, we can just show the responsive layout of the screen.
I think I'm agree with Campbell that we should make it keep it simple.
Because if people are creating their list and then they are deciding which item should go to the cart, so for that we already have a favorite list. They can play there, but it is a kind of a place where they actually decide they want to order something, then only they are pasting something here.
Yeah.
So it should go in one go rather one by one.
Just will be good to see how this translates on other results. Yeah.
So it appears like this.
So you scroll,
Yeah, we can scroll at the top.
At least. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I have some concerns.
Sure.
Sorry.
No problem. We are here to
So,
listen.
I like what's happening with the sort of add a line, add a line, add a line, add a line. I don't mind that there's not 10 or 6 or 5 or whatever up front. I don't think we'll have too many concerns in that regard. I am a little bit concerned about, though, that when we first went to this page, the first thing that we saw was enter a SKU or product name, enter multiple SKUs, add from a file, and everything's sort of combined to the one thing. So where Julia had mentioned that there could be an add to cart to the side of everything, could we potentially have an add to cart after each different type of add to order function?
Okay, so you are saying this add to cart button should be individually available, one with bulk file, one with paste order, and one with the complete quick order.
Or something to identify the fact that they are 3 different options, not 3 things you have to fill out.
Yes.
What if you did like a
We will
concertina type look?
We will just keep the label on the top of each and every, like for an example, what Prashant is displaying above this enter SKU and product name, it's look like quick order. Similarly, we'll just have another row which says or, and then we can have just above this enter multiple SKUs, we'll have another label which says paste order. So the user
That
will
makes
be able to understand whether it's a quick, it's a paste, or it's a bulk upload.
And also I think we can just by default we can just collapse or expand the things.
Yes.
By default the below part will be collapsed, and if user just want to open that, then they will just click on the paste order link, and this part will be displayed there.
A kind of accordion we can.
Yeah.
That makes
In that
sense
case,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds
So
good.
quick order will always be in the expanded format because
Perfect.
under the paste order and bulk order there is an add to list button.
Yes.
So once you have the add to list, it will ultimately go to this each and every row. So we'll always expand the quick order, but for paste and bulk upload, we'll make it in the accordion view.
And then what we would be seeing right now is like quick order in the first line, and then we would have paste order and a drop down, and we would have add from file or whatever it might be in a drop down. But straight away on the very first page, you would actually see add to cart as well. So that straight away you can kind of see that blue, how do I add it, rather than having to scroll.
Yeah, so I'm getting you are saying that if we are going to hide these 2 options, right, in a form of a drop down or accordion, and let's say customer wants to use only this thing, quick order. So this add to cart should be it should be visible upfront rather than clicking accordion and then see this add to cart, right?
Like thinking about it, yes, that's exactly what would happen. So you would see add to cart straight away without having to separate it with an add to cart after each function, because they would already be collapsed.
Okay.
Does that sound all right, Campbell?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Rajesh, can we have add to cart button at the top as well?
Yeah,
I think so. I think that's probably the best idea, actually. Yeah. Just so that it's upfront and visible and you don't need to scroll. I'm just mindful of the fact that we are giving too many rubbish bins to customers. Essentially what we want them to do. Of course not to purchase what they don't want, but we want them to have more options to purchase rather than more options to bin. And currently we are giving them 55 bins and only 1 add to cart. So I'm thinking, how do we maximize add to cart on the screen? And that's pretty much what Jacinta was talking about as well, I think. Let's potentially, I think it's a great idea. Let's potentially add this add to cart button to the top of the screen as well. Just duplicate it.
Julia, just one thing, exactly. I maybe we just leave it for the designers. Of course, I agree that we should have the add to cart button on the top. That would make more sense because of course it is upfront visible and the customer would not have to scroll down or probably just need to scroll up once he has entered all the quantities. But coming back to the icon about the delete option, think of a scenario wherein the customer has already put across like 20 or 50 SKUs, and then he wants to delete one of it. So yeah, so we need to think on those lines as well.
And also, I think we should stick with one strategy. Either we provide the add to cart on the top as well, or we just provide the collapse or expand option on the paste order link and add from file link. Else, what will happen if we just provide the both? Then once the user just land on this page, then there will be two add to cart button will be displayed. So that will create some sort of confusion from the end customer point of view.
Yeah.
So we should just stick with one option. Either we provide the add to cart on the top, or we just provide the collapse and expand option on the paste SKU and the add from file link. I think once we will provide the expand and collapse option, then automatically the add to cart will be visible on just above on the page, and it will be upfront visual. That is my opinion.
As a starting point, can we do the collapse and then have a look at it? So just put in the collapses, leave everything else as is. We'll have a look and see how it feels.
Yeah. So Nijesh, maybe let's do it this way. Do we provide? Is there a possibility that we can provide this option of collapsing these two, the paste and the bulk order, and then see how the form looks like, and then probably just in case if we see the visibility is not that good for the add to cart, then we just move the button on the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
If I'm correct, we're not doing any user testing whatsoever, correct?
No.
Just like prototype user testing.
My understanding is that certainly for New Zealand, we're doing beta testing when it comes time to roll out. So there will be a soft launch of several customers.
Yeah, but that is a little bit too late in the game. I'm thinking about, we're making decisions, which of course, based on best UX practice and that kind of stuff, but without actually letting people try and play with it, it's very difficult. I know we're very pressed on time. I'm just asking the question whether that was factored in or not, just to try and test UX with users.
Well, that's what we're all here for. I mean, from New Zealand's point of view, all of our sales reps can have a play once we're up and going a bit, and have their input. We don't want to get customers excited about something that may not be. Basically, it's our job to deliver this, not theirs.
It's not to say this is for you to use. It's just like typically when you are redesigning something, you have like a small pool of people that just playing with it, and you're watching them, and you have like hot mapping the screen, so you can see where your problem areas are. That's all. It's not to actually roll anything out.
Yeah, there's no time for that in this program.
It's part of UX design. Just wanted from Nagaro to confirm whether I don't think it was factored in. I just wanted to confirm if it was or wasn't.
To answer your question, Julia, yes, I think we proposed initially when the UI workshop was about to start that we need to have few users to capture their inputs to actually get the best user experience. But then I think the straightforward answer was no. We don't want our customers to play any role in the UI design. It's more for us to decide, and then they need to buy. So that was discussed initially. Yes.
Yeah. So all this beta testing will essentially not come back with any UX changes, just so that everyone is on the same page. It will be, just basically have a look. How does it look for you? But no major changes to the screen will be made after that. That's not going to happen. Campbell, just so that Yeah,
if a change has to be made, a change will be made, because we won't be sending out a shite product to our customers. So during beta testing, if a customer says it needs to be blue, it's going to be blue if it has to be blue. That's the point of our beta testing. But up until that point, everything we have in there, we should be testing to make sure it's functioning correctly as we perceive.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's for Nagaro guys to consider. That's kind of like expectation from Campbell, but that's.
Sure, Julian.
Cool. Next topic.
So, do we have a bind? So probably we'll have to, what we need to do is we need to reconsider the VDs that we designed for this particular page again, and then share it with you guys along with Mary for just a confirmation that this is what we have agreed now for the quick paste and the bulk order. We are going to have a single form with an accordion view and the add to cart button at the bottom, which might change as per the decision that comes later after you see this, right? Is that the understanding correct?
Yep, that sounds good, mate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
makes
much,
sense.
guys. Yeah. Okay, so
All right.
let's move.
Thank you. Khushbu, what's the next topic?
So we can have, sorry, apologies. The next topic as a discount and promotion if Janice is available. William has specifically asked, to have discounted promotion when Janice is on the call. Otherwise, we can pick the roles and permissions.
She mentioned to me that she will be available around 12, so
Okay.
probably 5 minutes later.
Okay, that's fine. So we can pick up roles and permissions in the meanwhile.
Sure, so I'm doing just stop sharing and you can continue.
Did we need to also, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the agendas, the search functionality. I'm thinking it might be shorter than roles and permissions.
Yeah, because a lot of functionalities in the search functionality, so that's why I'm keeping it at the end.
Okay, sure.
Right.
You just need to display based on the Excel sheet that has been shared what all things can be accommodated by the default search as per given by Magento. Meanwhile, what I can do, I can start sharing my screen. And I'll just showcase the roles and permissions sheet that has been shared with you all. Do let me know when you start seeing my screen.
Yep.
See it?
Visible?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So in the sheet, Jessica, as you have shared the requirements, we have just to have the walkthrough of this sheet. So in the column B, we have listed down all the requirements per the sheet or the document that you have shared with us. In this column, we have, marked this whether if this particular feature or this requirement is present in Magento or not. Then we have, captured it in the next column. This requirement, to whom is it visible to, whether it's only for the guest user or will it be to the registered user, where this functionality appears. If you can see, this manage notifications is something, if we are talking about the notifications regarding the emails or those, they are available to the user as well, which is the registered user, but they can be managed by the user itself using the front end, or they can be managed by the back end as well. So something these kind of visible to as well, you are able to see. And at the end, the remarks. Now coming to the permissions, majority of the functionalities, if we look at, they are available to all the users, and we do not have, as we have shared the sheet with you, no control over the permissions. So I have hidden that particular column and I can unhide it for you. So if you look at these, we do not have permissions, owing to which you can control your users, whether the user will be able to see the catalog, the user will not be able to see the list price. To this particular role, we can restrict the list pricing, or we can display the list pricing, or similar goes to the customer pricing. However, there are certain something related to the company profile or their address books, those kind of things we do have the permissions on, and it is more like a module level. So if somebody has the permission to view the company related information or buyers related information, that user can do everything. However, the other users will not able to see those module altogether under the My Account dashboard. We have captured this, so we would like to know how to proceed with these permissions, so that we can set it up at our end, or we can work around what needs to be done next.
Yeah, sure. So Campbell has also spent a little bit of time over the last couple of days making sure that he can sort of validate what's there and what he needs. They do have a more simple approach than us, in a sense of Campbell actually does a lot of the admin side on behalf of all of their users, so on behalf of both the customer admin as well as the customer users, which means that pretty much he only needs to have a very high, godlike, as he likes to put it, role, and then some smaller ones underneath that. So potentially, Campbell, did you want to start with anything that you have concerns with, being that yours is probably a lot easier to align to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really overly concerned with what they've got here. My only real concern is that you're trying to match WebSphere roles to Magento permissions, and my real feeling is that we actually need to completely forget about WebSphere and just start on Magento. How would you approach this if we were a new client who didn't have WebSphere?
So in that scenario, Campbell, very simple, we'll just showcase you the permissions which are available in Magento, and we'll ask you, based on these permissions, what does the sales team does, what does your
what are
the different kind of permissions that you have, and based on that,
you're talking about stuff here that, as you say, there's no permission for viewing catalogs in Magento.
Yeah, if you altogether a new customer to us wherein no existing platform exists, we will not keep anything. We'll just try to understand from you what kind of what are the people who are going to use this website, whether it's from the ASABLOY side or whether it's from the customer side. Since it's a B2B, so we are assuming there are only 2 or 3 roles. One is about the administrator, who is more from the company side, who can do everything. Second is the salesperson, who can view the order related thing, who can place the orders. Third person, there is a person who can actually manages the quotations or those kind of things. So these kind of roles we can have a look around and ask them what all your company does altogether, or your customers do, the company customers I'm talking about over here. So based on that, we'll just set up the things, or we can just simply say to any of the company who is your customer, you can give the entire list and they can play around to each and every user what all permissions would they like to create and what all roles would they like to give.
Yeah, so my preference is that you actually treat us like that. You treat us as though WebSphere is nothing.
Okay,
Send us out the list
great.
of the permissions, and we can sort of tell you how many roles we're going to need. We can mark off what permissions under each role, rather than trying to do this jiggle that doesn't actually marry up to anything.
Okay, that's really great.
And if there's any gaps that we think that, well, if we believe there are any gaps, we can add those in as a secondary. So either you can tell us that's included somewhere else, or that will be a customization.
Yeah, sure. Anytime. Yeah. We'll just tell you everything over there. So we are going with these permissions by default. And I just wanted to, put this point up front. These permissions are only for the company users or the company manager or the administrator, you can call it.
Yeah.
Nothing is being given to the ASABLOY team. So there is no account on this portal, because everything has been designed considering that, the B2B customers and the B2B customers is not the ASABLOY in our case. It is your end customers for whom you are accepting the orders. So this website is basically for them, not for the assembly. So being you as a super god, as you have mentioned in one of the email, you cannot, create any permissions for your company administrators or their users. However, they can do on their own.
If we give them the permission.
Yes, if you give them the permissions. So by default, the company administrator who is being created along with the company, whenever the data is being pushed from AX to Magento using the customer master, and that person has been set up using the backend, Magento backend, that user will going to see everything on the related to that company or the permissions, and that user can further create more users, and the initial user, the first time, the very first user who is associated with the company can give the permissions that, I am the administrator and I am the manager who is managing everything. However, the other users who will be going to create over here, like Kushbu or Manish or let's say Prashant, they will not going to have everything. They will not, let's say they cannot place the order or they cannot view the codes, those kind of things. So that person has the overall authority on the website.
Yep. So if you can send out the list of permissions, I'll go through them and I'll tell you what ones to assign to what role.
Sure.
For New Zealand.
Okay. That's
again,
good.
is this going to be a global thing? So will New Zealand's default roles be different from Australia's, or do they have to be the same?
It's either way. We are just giving you the permissions. You can have the on-the-go roles. If you want us to set up the initial ones, we can do it based on these permissions. If you feel that no need to have that done, we'll train our users and they can do it on their own. We are fine with that way as well.
Right.
This is the entire list.
So just like while we're talking about this particular part, the reason that we're going, I feel what I know so far, and I don't know a lot about permissions or roles, that Australia or potentially others other than New Zealand are going to have a problem is that New Zealand are currently happy to be the customer administrator. So ASA Abloy in New Zealand are also the customer administrator. So they don't technically care if they have too much privilege, because they will never assign that to an external user. They will simply give those users the permissions to buy and all those sorts of things, but not necessarily to create new users or to be able to approve or anything like that. That stays with them. I'm not in a position to say that Australia are going to do that, and I don't want to do that. I think a customer should be able to manage their own store or company account within the store, and therefore from what I see so far is that if I give somebody a customer administrator, so customer company administrator role, that they'll be able to create new users and they'll be able to approve a new user that applies online that they didn't create themselves, or reject simply by saying enable or disable. They'll be able to assign a role, but they'll also be able to go into those roles and change what that person can do, right? They'll be able to go into the permission and say that you also can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, which all of a sudden becomes a absolute ball of fun in not knowing exactly what this person actually can do or cannot do.
So over here, if you look at the top, first of all, for the other countries like ASEAN and Korea, when we had the workshops, we got to know that for those countries there will be only one user, that is the company administrator. That user only manages everything, places order, views everything. There is no multiple users within the company on the store who performs a lot of things from the sales team or from the codes team or from the content team. That's how there is only one person who is performing everything from the company side. This is what we get to know when we had the workshop with ASEAN and with the Korea. So that is the answer of first question. Now coming to the roles, like for assigning the permission and all those, if you look at over here in the company users, sorry, it actually takes some time.
So it is.
Okay, so let's say this particular user, forget about this basic maintenance. Let's say it is just a default user. The Manish saying it's a default user. I can click that user and change the role. And if I want to know, what is the role is all about, I simply go to the roles and permissions and enter that default role, which will be available on the top of my screen, and edit the permissions and see what all permissions has been given to that role. If I simply see this default user, I can click on edit.
So as a company admin, you can go in and now say that this default user of company A can view orders of subordinate, and then another customer calls me and says, but this one doesn't, and that's because they are able to then go and maintain their own roles individually.
Yes, they can do that as well. If you have just seen, I should have opened in the new tab, but I can show you that. So for an example, within a company, there are two users. One user with the default role has certain permissions. However, the other user needs to have a separate permissions, right? With the same role name or maybe with a different role name. If you look at, you'll able to see the duplicate option. So let it Jacinta have certain permissions who can place orders but not request a quote, but Campbell within the same company account would like to have the request a quote as well along with the placing orders. So I can simply, duplicate this role and add more permissions to the duplicated role.
I think what Jacinta is saying is that she's happy to have a business manage its own roles in terms of assigning roles, but not change the permissions.
Okay, when you say business manager, is it from the ASA employee or is it from the company?
No, from the company.
From the company.
Yeah.
From the company, yeah.
So ASA employee in the background do anything, but we don't want a customer to be able to change the permissions of a role.
Or add new ones or anything.
Yeah. Assign existing roles to new and existing employees, but not create roles and not assign permissions. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
get it.
Yes.
So Khushbu, actually what needs to be done is that is there a possibility, or probably Nijesh, is there a possibility that we set up a certain type of roles, right? And then actually those roles needs to be mapped to different users of a company, but at the same time, the roles or the permissions that has been given to the user as a part of a role, that roles and permissions cannot be changed by the company admin, if I get it right.
Could you just make that roles and permissions screen not available?
Yes, we can do that, right,
Yes.
Mr. Nijesh?
Yes. Yeah. We can do that
simpler way, because if they can't see the screen, they can't change nothing.
Correct,
And then
correct,
they would
correct.
still then have permission, though, to accept new users and assign roles to new users and everything. So everything else that is involved in roles and permissions is still there. So there's almost like a hierarchy then to the actual roles and permissions part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, we need to have the list of the roles that needs to be created by default. And of course, we do away with this option of not giving the users or the admins the flexibility of changing the roles and permissions for a specific role, right?
Absolutely. That's, ideal. And that means we could create, I'm not saying this is a number, please don't get scared. We could create 20 ASA Abloy roles, and New Zealand only use 4, and Australia use a different 7, and Korea use a different 4, but they're all the same at the end of the day. There's still these absolute definitive roles that you just choose which ones you use for which entity. They don't change after that.
Would we still, as an Abloy, be able to change a specific permission on a user in the background? So in whatever admin portal we have, we can still go in there and add or remove a specific permission?
No, I don't know.
No. All these are company level permissions, so only company admin can change or add a new role.
So,
team.
So coming back to your question, Campbell, I think the rights that you have as of now, wherein you get the flexibility of deciding what the company admin would have, so that is gone. So that is not there in Magento. Magento does not offers that. So Magento is offering that specific godlike role permissions to the company admin, not to the ASABloy admin.
Right.
So here is what is the catch. So you
So
don't
we're
have
not
the,
going to be able to adjust anyone's permissions at all after this. We can only
yes,
assign roles.
yes, you are
See,
right.
that's
Kind of
problematic
take them to a
to
higher
Cinta.
role.
Yeah,
Well, could we
that's
create a new
problematic
role later?
because- Yeah.
Uh,
My only problem is that with that is that we don't really understand the permissions yet.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
later down the track, without having to have a change request, we may just want to go in and manipulate them.
So of course, I mean that is actually where the catch is, that the Magento by default offers this flexibility only to the company admin, not to the Asabloy admin.
And if we
Yeah.
do offer, so if we do give company admin the full range of roles and permissions as it stands today in standard Magento, we then, so a customer who is a company admin, and just say we have, we've defined that company admin cannot do, what's an example? They can't, I don't know, something really high and mighty, pretend that. Just say they can't change their legal address, which we know they can't anyway, but we'll just say that that's what they've been told they can't do. If they had full permissions and they were the company admin, they could go in and do that, right? They could go in and tick it by standard Magento.
Yes.
They can change their own permissions.
Yes.
Yes, but it won't affect, because that information, whatever changes they are doing, that will stay in Magento itself. They will not pass to AX. So even if they change the legal address, if they have a permission to edit it, it will not reflect in AX, and it is just for their view only.
Yeah, but that's where the problem comes, because if they change it in there, they expect it to change it later on.
Ah, okay.
And for example, if we're not using quotes in the Magento quote management concept, and they go and tick that, what happens? So by default, I guess we would never tick those because we're not using them. What happens if they tick it?
So they can start requesting. Yeah, please.
I think right now the process is that the customer is just integrated from the AX to Magento, correct? It is not a Magento to AX. So always we are just assuming that the customers always will be created at AX side, and then it will be populated to the Magento side, correct? So it means the customer is already created. Okay. From here, if we are just going to provide the access, like just change the legal address and the company profile, then it means we are just making a differentiation between the AX side information and the Magento side information, correct? I would not suggest we should do that, because to make the consistency between the both system, the process which we are deciding, like the customers will be created at AX side and it will be flowed to the Magento side, that we should follow. So I think the first option which Campbell was suggesting, that we just create some set of roles with the defined permissions, and the company admins can just assign the roles to a different users. They cannot change the permission. I think that is the best option. And in any case, worst case, we just have to provide these permissions as well. In that case also, company profile related information should not be changed from the customer admin as well. They also cannot change the company
But as
profile.
Abloy will need to be able to change permissions on any user.
So Najesh, coming to that, yeah, so everything is fine. So if in future, if Asabloy creates, let's say for now, they create like 20 roles with the different permutations and combinations of the permissions. If on those existing roles, if they need to change the permission in future, how that will take place?
So I think first from the current perspective, I would say first we should sort out this information, and how later on we can change that we can park it from the phase 2, where we will give this option into the Magento backend. From there the Magento admin or the Asabloy admin can manage these permissions.
Yeah,
But from now,
yeah, that can be done. So we need to
from now
customize,
it's-
yes, we need to customize these permissions to be displayed at the Magento backend, so that in future, if you would like to change any roles or related permissions to assign to that role, that can be done by the Asabloy team itself, and the company administrator or any other user will not see that. But for that, we need to make certain customizations at the backend to display all these permissions in the backend as well. But that can be taken up later, in maybe in phase 2. We'll just add it as one of the requirements, and that can be taken up then.
And for now, if there is means we can just analyze all the roles and permission. Then after we can just
Yeah.
come up with some sort of roles and permission predefined, and then we can just while creating the company, we can just create that a part of setup. So no entries would be required, no manual data entry would be required. Everything will be set up just as a part of customer setup entry.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're expecting that the customer admin can just assign the already existing roles, and we then have to deal with how those roles change. So as we do phase 2, phase 3, phase 77, how does that then apply to William's laughing too? How does that then apply to existing roles when we're going to have some changes that may need permissions involved?
See,
So as mentioned.
what I understand
Yeah,
is that Jacinta, so there could be a possibility like suppose you want to keep the role as is for one of the customers, and probably you want to have a similar role with a different set of permissions, right? So as Khushbu mentioned, there is a possibility of creating a duplicate role, right?
Yeah.
So then you can do it. So in that case, the existing role does not changes, and then you have a new role altogether with all the same set of permissions, and then probably with a slight differentiator in the name.
With the extra. So do we then potentially have to tell company admins that, hey, this is a new feature. If you want to be able to request a cancellation on an order, go in and change your role to this?
Correct.
Or is there some way that we can, in a mass upload, say everyone that was previously default user now becomes default user plus cancellation role?
That is what Nijesh needs to answer. So Nijesh, is there a possibility that we can do a mass change altogether for a role?
No, I think as I said already, for now we should in the roles and permission list also we can say there are almost 10 to 12 permissions, correct? Around which we just have to play around, correct? So on all these permissions, I don't see them very much permutation combinations, correct? The one user which means all users cannot modify the company profile. So it is very much straightforward, correct? One user can only just place the order, they can only view the order, but they cannot place the order, correct? So all these things are, I don't see very much permutation combinations here, correct? So once we will sort it out this roles and permissions mapping, then I think we will have fair idea that how we are going to manage this. And if it's still required, because I am saying I am very much confident once we will sort out this, then there will be no such requirement just to change this information again and again, because almost we will cover almost everything. But in any case, if that is still required, then in phase 2 we can plan to manage all these things from the Magento backend perspective.
And also right now we will definitely going to cater this suggestion to have these permissions at the Magento backend, so that the ASABloy admin can make those changes instead of the company administrator. So right now, if you look at it, this is, as we have in the starting itself, we have mentioned that this is only for the company users, be it the admin or be it the any other role or user or any other buyer. We are agreeing that roles and permissions will not be available either to the buyer or to the administrator of the company. Only the roles will be visible to the company administrator, so that whenever the new user is being created by the company administrator, he can actually assign a defined role which has already been set up for this company. So right, so no need to have this roles and permissions tab available all together to either to any of the buyer or to the company administrator. Only the roles will be available, no permissions, nothing. This section will go away altogether.
Yes.
For the company administrator as well as for the buyer. So only the company user is the page left that the company administrator can able to see, and he can add new buyer or he can change the role. Let's say Khushbu Gupta right now is having a test role. Instead of test role, she might have the basic maintenance. Just an example.
Yep.
Or maybe sales role in future.
Correct.
Okay.
But Khushbu, I think Jacinta's question is still not answered. Is it answered, Jacinta?
I mean, I understand why Najesh has said, let's wait and see what happens. Because this is, like moving forward, how do we then backtrack on existing users and move new features into that role as well? And potentially it comes up the first change that we have that we want to then assign to an existing role, that's when we have to think about it.
Correct. So Khushbu, is the current Excel that you were presenting, does it contains the list of all the permissions that is available in Magento? Can you just share it?
No, this sheet
Right.
doesn't have all the
Correct.
permissions, but
Right.
however, in the email, I have shared a link which includes all the permissions. So, do you want me to pull out that email?
No, is there a possibility that we share the list of the permissions that currently
Yes.
Magento offers?
Yes.
Right. Let
It is.
let Jacinta and Campbell, go through the list of permissions that is by default available to the company admin, and then
Yes.
they decide that what roles needs to be created with what set of roles and permissions, and then we create those set of roles, right? And then do away with this roles and permission segment for the company users or the company admin. Is that
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So
So I have
Jacinta
already
Campbell,
shared that.
yeah,
I'll share it again if
yeah,
needed.
yeah.
So we've got the B2B user guide, which has the list. Is there any way that we could get one that has more descriptions or something? So for example, one of the role permissions is company profile, account information, edit. So maybe we could say that account information includes addresses or users or whatever it might be, just a little bit more information into that, because we don't know any of these terms from Magento.
That's why, Jacinta, I have shared the documentation for the entire section. So,
Khushbu, can you just quickly
I've
open
read
that?
that and I've read it before as well, and I still can't.
Yeah,
Let
can
me-
you
let
can
me-
you quickly open that? Let's see what actually the documentation covers. So probably what
Yes.
Jacinta is mentioning, that it is not giving the entire description about what that specific permission does. So yeah.
Sure. Just give me a moment. I'll
And
just.
I think Sachin,
Yeah.
we can also do one thing. We can
Mhm.
just put a screenshot, like if we are saying that this is a company profile, so at what section we are referring the company profile. So we can just put a screenshot and some marker there. Okay, this is the section which is referring as a company profile, so that Jacinta can easily understand what is the meaning of company profile, and like these information I am talking about. Correct?
Correct.
So that
So Khushbu,
yeah.
just a quick question back to you. Just in case we don't find the required information in the documentation, so how much time do you think that it would take to explain this roles and permission segment, uh, uh, probably to Jacinta and Campbell? Can we have a session altogether other than this for them to be aware about what actually the roles and permission does, just in case if you tick or untick or uncheck those things?
We'll also, take them through the same documentation that I have shared with them.
Let's see the
But
documentation first. Let's see the documentation
yeah,
first.
okay.
Yeah, that might have all the answers in it.
Yes, probably.
Yes.
I just sent it through on the chat screen as well. I think that's the one that we're.
Yes.
Oh,
So
you've just found it anyway.
yeah. Okay. So this is the by default. That is the first page. That is the company accounts. If you look at, this is the entire section. This is from the admin. Whenever you say the admin sidebar, it's the backend Magento. And if you look at this, this is how creating a company. So this is the entire flow of creating a company in Magento. There are two places they have mentioned. One method is to create company using the storefront by simply log in. Once you create the company, how is it look like? Once the company is created, then there is certain information. If you see on the left panel, company admin.
But I think Khushbu, here can we focus on the company roles and permissions?
Yes, I'm coming to that. So next one is the company, last one is the company roles and permissions. So within this section, roles for company, every information is there. The access denied page appears if the user doesn't have the permission to the page. And then within the roles and permissions, these are the by default, the company structures generally. It is just an example. And then, in below you have all the add new role, how you need to do it in Magento, and the role name, then the list of permissions which are available over here. Now I get your concern. You would like to know what is the company profile, what do you mean by account information, where can I see the legal address. So if that's why I have not only shared this link, I have captured everything in this section: company accounts, company structure, company users. So if you look in the company accounts that I have opened initially over here while creating a company account, you can see this company admin. On that particular page in the company admin, you will be able to see the sales representative and everything at the storefront.
But I think from Jacinta point of view, I think it is too much information to
Yes,
understand.
yes. So we can just walk you through. Yes, we can just walk you through.
I think we can do one thing. We can just create one comprehensive document only from the roles and permission perspective, so
Sure.
that they can just focus on that part only. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll explain everything. Yeah.
Even if it was as simple as the page that you're on right now, if you scroll up just slightly and in the menu down the left-hand side, if you can take a screenshot of what is in the address book, sorry, not that page, the other one, and then what is in the company view and what is in this particular thing, then we would probably understand what then is associated to the words quote and what is associated to company profile opposed to user management, because we don't know what's in any of those. We haven't seen them.
That's why we are thinking, to create a documentation for you, the Word doc, wherein we'll just explain when we talk about the checkout place order, what does that mean, and where you can see that. What do you mean by use pay on account method? What do you mean by view orders or view orders of subordinate orders? So those kind of things. So yes, we'll create, definitely quotes is something that is not useful, but definitely we'll just include that as well in the documentation.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that would be very meaningful, and then it would help, Jacinta and Campbell to actually list down the roles that they would need by default in the store, and for the company admin to actually assign it to the respective users.
Yeah, but this will take some time. I don't think that will be done by before end of this week or maybe before Monday.
Yeah, that's all. That's all right. That's
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That is
okay.
Yeah.
Can I just? Sorry, I just wanted to ask a couple more questions on some of the things that we're going to have for phase one, not part of standard things, but still related to permissions. Could you open up the spreadsheet that you sent through in terms of the mapping of the requirements?
This one?
Yes, I think so. Yep, that's the one. So particularly, I guess, number 28, 29, and 19.
Number
It's
28.
Sorry, yeah.
This one.
Your screen is still stuck.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do. You want me to share it again? Let me share it again.
It's slowly coming up.
Okay, no problem. I'll share it again. Let me know. Is it visible now?
It's loading up.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So I can see number 19. 19 is an example anyway that we can see.
Okay, 19 is example. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got edit user spend limit, and it says customization is needed, which we know, and we will include this feature, but no permissions will be tied.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite understanding then who will be able to edit a user's spend limit, or will it just simply be company admin and that's it?
Yes. So whoever who all can, create user. So those only can, edit the spend limit.
Okay, so where we've said, and this could just be a differentiation between saying that we're actually not going to put any of this at the front end in the store, we're going to put it all at the back, but the reason that it's not going to have a tick box or anything is simply because anyone that is attached to a different type of feature will be able to do this. Is that right? So if they can create a new buyer, they will be able to do this. Is that the best way to describe that?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever
And that's
is
probably
able
then,
to,
yeah.
yes, whoever is able to create the new user or edit an existing user. So if you look at this pop-up, after having all the information, there will be two more fields, that is the order approval limit and order approval limit amount. So by default, this checkbox will be disabled. When the user, any of the company admin checks it, he has to enter the value, what is the spending limit.
Perfect.
Of that particular
Absolutely
user.
perfect. That is not a problem whatsoever. That sounds good. The second one then is the approve or reject orders, which I'm not actually sure that we've even got a design for, but it as well says that there's no permissions tied to it. So theoretically, who would be able to approve or reject an order that was created by a user that has a limit?
Yes. So whenever we are saying that, we will include this feature, but no permission tied. So when we say no permission, we mean over here in this list, there will be no permission as such, wherein you can say this particular administrator can view the spending limit or approve the user or approve the orders. Those kind of permission is not there. However,
it doesn't need to be. Yeah.
Yes, it's a feature will be available. Now coming to this point, that is approve orders. Again, whoever is approving the orders, order to approve, let's say there is no permission, but yes, all the company administrators can approve the order. And that will be available over here under the orders section, wherein there will be one more option available, orders to approve.
Okay, so it'll be anybody that has company admin will have that attached to them without being able to tick it for another type of role. It'll just be part of company admin. That's okay. That's fine. I just didn't quite understand where that was sort of saying that there's no permissions. Where does it leave it? And that's good.
Same goes with the reject orders.
Yes. Yeah. And reject users is about company admin enabling and disabling, and that's fine as well. I think we did have some queries open on that particular line of design, but we'll leave that with. There was already a separate thread to that.
Okay, we didn't understand this particular point. View delivery notices, that is one of the requirement. So
it's a shipment document. Sorry, it's not really a delivery. It's a shipment notice, which will be attached to, if they can view an order history, they'll be able to view that as well.
It is yes, and we are customizing this feature.
Okay. Sorry, after I wrote it, I realized that no, we're talking about them as shipments.
No problem. So I just wanted to understand what you mean by delivery notices.
Of course.
Okay, then the recurring orders is something that, it's a new functionality altogether.
Yes.
If
Same with all of those ones at the bottom. Yeah.
Yes. These are all the new functionalities.
Yeah, I think there was just, those couple of things that were sort of new but going to be phase 1, and everything else that's phase 2, I'm sort of, we'll come to that later.
In phase 77, that is for sure. Okay, moving to the next one. This is all about the roles and permissions. Now, if I move further on this checklist, we have the discount and promotions, which we need to get closed because we are working on this in the order handling scenarios. So Janice is with us.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, hi Janice.
Hello.
Okay, so we can show what is there when we talk about the discounts at the cart level or catalog level. What we would like to do is we would like to showcase our cart wherein we have set up the catalog level rule as well as the cart level rule. But if needed, we'll just display how it is being set up using the backend Magento as well. So first we would like to showcase for this discounts, how the discounts are being created. And just to start with that particular topic, we assume that, since we are going with the real-time pricing, so for the registered user or the logged-in user, the price that the customer is able to see on all the products, which will be the customer buy price. That is after all the contract basis prices and everything, we'll fetch the customer buy price, which will be displayed on PLP, PTP, or any of the pages which is available on the website. Okay?
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm closing all these tabs related to the permissions. Let's have new tabs for the discounts.
So while that's opening, and in regards to what you've just said, with particularly if we're talking about catalogs to start with, the only way to achieve a guaranteed price as such from a company level, an ASA Abloy company level, sorry, would be to do a fixed amount so that everybody pays $60, and anything else would take into account the customer's buy price and come off it. Is that correct?
No, I didn't get it completely. What I understand is from the ASABloy side, whenever your customers are viewing the website, they will see the price as $60. Is that what
so unless we specify a fixed amount on a catalog rule,
Okay.
everything then would be, otherwise it will be dependent on the customer's price. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's dependent on the customer's price. Yes.
But applying as a fixed amount would allow us to apply it as one price for all customers for that given period of time in the catalog.
One price to all the products.
No, sorry, one price for one product, but for
Okay.
all customers that catalog was applied to, that
That's
rule was applied to.
That's for the guest users, right? Not for the logged
No,
in users.
No,
it
no,
would
for
be
a logged in
certain
customer.
whoever the customer group was that was selected in the rule.
So if in the coupon we say
So in that case,
it's... Yep, go, mate.
sorry, Campbell, go ahead.
No, you go, mate.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You both stopped. I don't know if you have to speak.
You go first, mate.
So I think Campbell was adding something there.
I was just going to clarify that once the customer's logged in, the product might be $75 and they pay $50 normally, but just into saying she might want to put a flat price of $40 on it regardless, or $50.
So Campbell, so right now
Yeah,
the
please, Nirjesh.
complete pricing is decided from the real-time pricing perspective, correct? So once the customer logged in and they open the PDP page or any other page, then based on the customer ID and the product ID, we will get the price from the AX API, and then accordingly same price will be displayed at the Magento side.
And if
So
there's a catalog rule that applies to that exact scenario, is the price then just catalog rule applied on top of the AX extracted price?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep,
yeah.
that answer, yep.
Yeah.
So
Because it could be different every time.
it's taking a lot of time today. I don't know. It got scared somehow. It doesn't want to get displayed their prices.
Shall I share my screen, Khushbu?
Let me try last
Okay.
time. Otherwise, I'll ask you to do that. Okay. Now it got scared again. That we leave him. Okay. So if you see over here, there is a product. I think we have removed that product. Okay. So let me search that product. So I'll just show you how that looks like. And
That's
what
the blue one.
Yes, the blue one. Okay. So if you see over here for this product, that is RFID wristband, this product is the regular price is 400. So consider this regular price for this customer, that is Nirjesh Kumar, this is the customer buy price, which is $400. But now after having the catalog level rule on it, it displays as $360. So when the user logs in, so he will going to see 400, which will be strike through, then the percentage of discount, and then this final price. This final price, $360, is coming up because the Magento has applied the discount at this particular product level, and that's why instead of 400, this particular item is available at $360 to the customer. So this is about the catalog level rule, and we can create catalog level promotions on any of the category or certain SKU codes. There are a lot of conditions available. So we'll just showcase you that condition as well. So this is one kind of rule which is available. Now, if I add this particular...
So what would happen if the customer's normal price is $400 and the catalog rule was $410?
410. So see Campbell, so this 400 is the price that this is the price that has been fetched from the AX using the real-time API.
Yep.
Now the customer is able to view 360 on this product because there is certain promotion is applicable which has been set up in Magento itself, not on the AX for this product. So that's why whenever the customer places an order using this product in this shopping cart, he does not need to pay 400, which is per their contract or which is the price that is available in the AX, but the customer needs to pay $360 only. That is like $10% of the promotion on that particular product. So when I add this product to my cart,
right? So that's if you're doing a percentage.
What if it's fixed?
If you're doing an absolute value,
it
a
can
dollar
be done
value
as well.
on the promotion, yep.
It can
So
be done as well.
what would happen if it was $410 as the absolute value? So on promotion, it's actually more expensive for that customer. Because we have customers on different discounts for the same product.
Yes, not in the same group, but yes, not for the same account, but definitely for the multiple accounts. For an example, account A customers, any of the customer of account A will going to have like on 400 on the actual price, the customer buy price, they are just getting a $10 off, which is a flat amount. So the final price would be $390 for company A. However, for company B, the customer buy price is again 400, but there is a 10% off on these products. So
Okay,
that can be done.
But there is the additional one, which is the apply the fixed price. So that's applying a fixed discount, and there's applying the percentage discount. But applying a fixed price says all the customer groups that you can do, you can apply just $410 full stop. So Campbell's question is, if that is the rule that is applied, is there any further validation that says, hang on, 410 is more than 400, or will it just add it at 410?
So from the catalog rule, we cannot do it like this. So catalog
Yes.
rule means something when we are saying, okay, these are the conditions. If all these conditions are fulfilled, then you will get this much of discount. There
Which
is
will
nothing
always
like,
be less than the customer
Yeah.
buy price.
yeah.
Okay, so what happens, how does it get set up if it's more? What happens?
No, you cannot set up more.
More.
You will either set up a 10% discount or you will just set up $10 discount. That's it. Either you can set up fixed amount of discount or the percentage amount of discount. That's
Right,
it.
so there's no promotion where I can say this item is $350 for everyone.
$350? No.
Yeah, so I can't set up that base price and say this is the price I want to sell it.
So if I am taking an example, okay, is right now if this product is having almost $400 for every customer, and then we just want to sell it in $350, then we can just apply the $50 discount, and it will be automatically applied to the $350 across all customers. But there is nothing like that where we will say, okay, this particular product will have this much of price for all the customers.
Okay, so the only
catalog,
options are to give the customer a percentage or a dollar value off the customer
No.
buy price.
Sorry, can you repeat? Yeah.
So there are only two options. We can give the customer a percentage discount or a dollar discount.
Correct. Yeah. Either
That's the only options.
Yeah, that's the only option.
And Ajish,
Yep.
if we apply the special price on, if we go to catalog, I'm not saying the promotion.
Yeah.
If you go to advanced pricing of a particular product under the catalog in backend,
Yeah.
so there we get the opportunity to set an exact price rather than saying it is a 10% off or it is a $10 discount. We can say that this particular product for main website and this product now would be visible, let's say for 300. So which means, yeah.
Yeah, but yes, it can be, but right now we are using the customer specific prices, correct?
Yeah.
So first customer specific price will be applied. If both are same, then it is fine.
Yeah, so it has to check what's the original value. So let's
Correct.
say
Yeah.
while I'm setting up, if the original value was 400, then only whosoever sees 400, they will see the new price.
Correct. Yeah. They will see the picture.
Prashant, can you share me the ID password for this? Like,
Yeah, it's
Ad,
admin
admin at the rate 12345
56. Yeah.
name correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just showcase you, the where to. This is the backend, which the ASABloy team will going to have an access to. So over here, if I go to the marketing, I have catalog price rule, I have cart price rule, related product rules, those kind of things. So if I go to the catalog price rule, is this the one, the 10% off?
Yeah.
Okay, so now if I edit this particular rule, which is on the product level, not on the cart level, you can see the rule name, you can see which particular store you would like to apply that discount, what all customer groups you would like to include. For now, we have included everyone. Priority is something, the 0 is the highest priority, 0 to 10 is the priority based on the priorities we can do. Then the conditions, these are the conditions. There are like a lot of values available. If I want to add, I can show you what all conditions are available. Conditions are available on the product attributes like color, category, or material, gender, SKU code,
These
SKU
are not
ID.
applicable to us in a way, but
Yes,
the
yeah.
SKU is
Just
something
for
which is of use.
SKU is available to us, or the category is the other
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
The category or the SKU is are the ones, the conditions which is applicable to us, and these are the values. So I have selected any of the product that was shown over here.
No, it will. Okay.
This is the product. So this particular product has the 400 price by default, and what we have done, we have added the SKU code in the conditions, and in the actions we have actually defined what is the percentage. So there are options like apply as percentage, apply as fixed, adjust final price to this percentage, adjust final price to discount value.
So that last one, adjust final price to discount value, in the documentation that we've been given as the Magento documentation, is sets the final price to a fixed discount amount. For example, if you enter 20, the final price is 20.
Okay, so in that scenario, if this is the option, yes, so we can use that. So what is the discount amount that can be used? And once you save it, or you can schedule this rule as well, if you want to have this promotion only for the defined time, or for any event, so that can be done using this update over here. And once it is done, it will start displaying on your product listing page and all the pages on the website itself.
Okay, can you just go back to the setup? If you change that to the last option there, so to the adjust final price as discount, if you could make that $30,
20
is fine then, that's fine. And if we apply that, what happens to the price in the website? That's what we're trying to understand.
Okay, let's check that.
Cool.
I hope that it will start reflecting.
It won't work, Khushbu. There is some issue with this category, I believe so. But you can check.
Is it?
Yeah, but you can check to be on a safer side.
Okay. But it should display that 20, right? Per the guide, right, Rajesh? There?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just flushing everything.
So what if the customer buy price is lower than the discount price? Can we add a logic to use the lowest price?
So, Neetu, to answer your question, the discount will always be applied on the buy price. So let's say
Okay.
if buy price is $20, so either if you add the fixed amount, the percentage, or adjust final price to the percentage or the fixed value, that will be always the base value is will be your customer buy price.
Okay. What we're trying to understand though is what does adjust price mean?
Let's figure it out. It should display, ideally it should display over here the $20, but if it doesn't, so that means there is something, wrong with the category or maybe with the SKU code.
Because
But I
if that's
think-
going to say $20 there, then I would expect to pay $20, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Yes, so the customer needs to pay
But
$20.
what if my
only.
normal price
It's
is
10.
$10?
But Kusu, I think you have applied $20 discount and not made the price to $20. Am I right?
No, I didn't get your Nitish. What you
Um,
I have changed it to adjust final price to fixed value. Over here,
So it means that whatever your final value is going to be, you are giving $20 discount, a fixed discount on the total value.
yes, so it should be like 380, right?
Correct.
Right.
It
Right. It should
is
not show
not like
20, it should show 380.
380. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
So
the-
how does that
definitions
differ from
in
apply as fixed amount then?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's different definition to what's in the user guide. So I've just copied and pasted the definition of the pricing structure, and the first one is apply as a fixed amount, which would be the $20 off, and then the last one is the adjust final price, which is take it down to $20. So I think if that's the logic, I think the real question that we want to know is that does the customer's price apply if it's lower? And if not, is it just that final price is the final price and you must be more concerned with how you raise a catalogue?
So yes,
Discount.
Jacinta, your understanding is correct. Per the description, it says if we select this value, adjust final price to discount value. So whatever value you enter in the discount amount field will be the final price.
So you would pay $20 for that item.
And that is no matter what your normal buy price is as dictated by AX. This is just a complete override.
Yes. So it'll not be complete override. I would say over here, how will it going to display is, let's say if the customer buy price, I'll just open that only. There is something wrong with this product or maybe this category, owing to which it is not displaying 20 over here. It should display 20, but over here, if you look at this, it will display two prices. One is 400 will be strike through, and by the promotion that has been applied, it will display $20. So whenever the customer adds this product to the cart, he has to pay $20 on this product instead of 400, which is the customer buy price.
And if the customer buy price was 10 in this example, then he would still be paying $20, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it doesn't matter in this type of rule, in this very particular type of action, it doesn't matter what the original price was. This is what the customer will be paying.
Yeah, if you look at this over here, the regular price is something which is the base product price without any advanced pricing. However, the final price refers to the discount price that appears in the shopping cart. So these two values, adjust final price to the percentage or the final price to the discount value, especially this final price to the discount value, it is considering the final price that you are entering in the discount amount field over here.
Yeah.
However, if we look at this particular final price to the percentage, it is actually considering the regular price.
Yeah.
So if you enter 50, it will actually take 50% of the regular price, that is 50% of the $400. That is the customer buy price.
Yeah. So it's almost the same as the top one. It's just doing the negative
Yes.
opposed to the positive, which is okay. So Nitu's question was, is there then the opportunity to put in a logic that says do this unless the customer's buy price is already lower.
There is no condition or criteria. However, you can set it up using this conditions over here. You can actually set, the conditions using, let's say, the combination or those. So let's say there could be something like price or something as an attribute. There must be an attribute, right, for price, right, Nirjesh?
Probably not. It's not really a product attribute.
But
I think as a starting point,
It's a
it's
customer
more
attribute.
important that we understand how it works as standard, and we
Yes.
can play with that, work with that, and keep our promote. I mean, we're not going to do any great, huge promotions to start with because
But
don't wanna
understanding
shake up
it is
the world.
important. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
understand it, we can work that, and if it really turns out that we need to put in extra conditions, we can work on that as a change request for version 999.
77, Campbell.
77. 77. Don't be such a pessimist, Campbell.
I still have doubt on the last condition. Khushbu, if you can just go to the documentation. So wherein you are saying that, say, suppose the customer buy price was, say, suppose 400, and then you are setting the price as 410. I am pretty sure that there should be some logic that should not allow it to do it, because actually you're setting up a price which is more than actually what the customer buy price is. I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% confident. This is something that we should check and then see if there are any conditions that are not letting it to set it more than the buy price.
I think we can play around all these things. But the thing is right now, because we are going to have a real-time pricing, so do we really think that this type of catalog level promotion will be handled at Magento side, and we are going to make frequent changes at the Magento side?
Yeah. So will be a marketing team or any of the marketing team will going to make certain changes wherein they would just simply, instead of which is like higher than the customer buy price or those kind of things can be set up.
Because the thing is, if we are using the real-time pricing and we are getting some particular price for a particular customer based on the particular quantity and the quotation, and then after at Magento side we are changing that, then I think there is no need to actually execute the real-time pricing thing, correct? So how we are planning to function that, I believe real-time pricing something, once we get the price, then most probably we are not going to make changes into the Magento side. But still, if we are planning to make changes, then I think we are defeating the purpose of real-time pricing.
Australia are absolutely planning to use these particular rules to give a standard price for an item to a group of customers. That it's absolutely it's a requirement of ours. However, of course, we will do our best to ensure that the price that we give is not higher than anyone's normal buy price. We're just needing to understand what the logic is.
Exactly, and that is what we need to check at our side as well. So Nijesh, there might be a possibility that we don't do it, but at least it's good to check it. What in case if somebody does it? So in case see, you already have the option, so it's good to know that what actually in case if somebody sets it. So how is
the thing is too, once we've got the sandbox environment, we can go around and play with this a little bit ourselves and just develop our own understanding in that sandbox environment before we go live.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We are struggling to get hold of that sandbox environment. That's right.
Sweet.
So if we look at, my only question or the only point of having the discussion around the discount is, if you look at on the PLP or the PDP page for that particular product, is you will be able to see the catalog price and the discounted price, which is the final price. However, on the shopping cart, again, we have made certain customizations wherein for the product you'll be able to see what is the customer buy price, what is the discount percentage, and what is the final price after applying the promotion at the catalog, at the product level on that particular product. That is like 360, let's consider 360 for now. something went wrong with the promotion that we have made changes to, so it is still showing 360. So over here, Jacinta, you asked like what is the customer buy price, what is the percentage and everything. So this is how it will look like. It will going to have like gross price is like customer buy price, discount percentage is the percentage, and the final price is actually the price after applying the promotion in Magento. That
Okay,
will be
so
used. So this is
catalog,
this, yes, this is the catalog level rule. There is
and
one
that works
more
really
option.
well. Yeah.
Yes. And there is one more option with Magento. After having all the catalog level promotions which has been added to each and every product, added to the cart, there is one more promotion that we call as cart level rule. So that will be applied. Now, if you look at the total, it is 2720 after calculating all the products total. So let me remove the other products. It will be easy. Can I remove that, Prashant, to have the
Yeah, you
cart
can.
level?
Yeah, you can remove it and then apply all 20 as a promotion.
Okay. Okay. So it will be easy to understand, on the single product itself.
So by the way, guys, we are 3 minutes ahead of our time.
Yeah,
So
I'm
is
just
it
trying to
fine,
close.
guys, if we continue for probably 15-20 minutes more, or probably half an hour?
We need to have a hard stop at 1:15.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In like next 10 minutes.
Okay.
So over
Yeah,
here
good.
now, if you can see, 360 is my total of the order. And now if I apply that all
It's
20,
a small L.
that's fine.
Okay.
It's not case sensitive.
All right.
That's good because our customers can't spell.
I was about to say that's a good answer. At least we know that now.
So I hope so. It's not case sensitive again. Maybe sometimes.
Yeah, it
Yes,
worked.
you used coupons. It is just okay. So as you can see on this particular card, there is one promotion that has been applied on the catalog, which is by default customer has no control. But if the customer has the cart level rule, which has been applied using this coupon all 20, it starts displaying over here.
So
That
$10 discount we are giving.
yes, at the cart, which is on the minimum order level or those kind of things. So there is certain conditions. Right now we do not have any condition. We just put the coupon having the all 20 as a coupon ID. Whoever has this particular code can apply it and get the $10 off flat amount discount on their cart.
Sweet.
So now coming to the question regarding the discount related changes which can happen in the AX or that particular discount if we have like multiple line items available in the cart, to divide this discount, the cart level discount on the individual line item. So that is something we would like to understand. One option is to not to set up any cart level discounts and have only the catalog level promotion set up in Magento. So in that scenario, there will never be a case wherein the discount will be displayed over here, and that discount needs to be uniformly divided on all the items available on the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the preference.
No, it's not. So what we really want to be able to do is not limit ourselves in saying that we never want to say to a customer, hey, thank you, you're a new customer, here's $20 off your next order. We don't want to be able to limit ourselves to saying, you're a loyal customer, here's $50 off your next order, or I'm really sorry that we did something to you last week that really made you angry. Here's our way to contribute to you, here's a makeup card, something like that. We don't want to say you must buy an Onyx to be able to get this particular makeup card because you have to nominate the product, right? So cart coupons really help us in that way. It's something that whilst we don't have it in our current business, it's because we can't have it in our current business. But what we do know is that to transact on this, I'm not sure that it's exclusive to B2B. I think it's got to be in a B2C world as well. To transact on it, we need to be able to attribute that particular discount to each and every line that had it apply to itself. So for this case, obviously the entire $10 came off a quantity of 1 and a product of 1. So the 100% of that discount came from that line. No questions. But when it's then gone across many lines, so if there's 10 items in the carton and in the cart, and the discount is $100, those 10 items would attribute to 10% each and then take the $10 off each line. But potentially in the conditions, we actually said that the RFID wristband already has a catalogue discount against it, or a catalogue rule, and should then therefore not apply to anything else. So actually only 9 of the 10 lines should have it taken off. For us, there's 2 things. We have to attribute that discount to something, but also when a customer wants to return that product, we need to give them back $350, not $360, or we're out of pocket, technically, if that line level comes through like that.
Yeah, there are charge functions in AX. So at header level, you can actually add a charge, either a positive or a negative, depending on how you feel about the customer. I know
that APAC have said that it has to come down per line, though. So that's where we're at the moment. And I think that's why Janice is on the particularly in this part of the call as well. So technically, in the background somewhere, there has to be a line level calculation because it has to go through all of the conditions, and then it also has the ability to only apply to certain lines as well in a cart rule. So when we're talking very, very technically, can that line, that detail in the calculation come out to be displayed? I'm not even sure that I mind if it's displayed on the cart, as long as when we get it through that XML that it is individually attributed back.
It just depends, Jacinta, to answer first thing, like at what is the condition that has been applied. So if we show you the condition for this particular cart level promotion, we say no value, nothing. Whenever you are on the cart, this is the discount. As you have mentioned, for the next order, just apply that coupon and it will get applied and give you like $10 off. It is not, it is irrespective, this coupon is irrespective of how many product line items are there, what is all discounts is already there. So that is one thing. So it is just, we got your concern that, if somebody returns the item, you should not, give him like $350 or return like $360 or $350 accordingly if it is getting applied to individual line item. But again, it is something, if you pitch in to understand or to have your from the technical side how we will going to handle it, if we need to handle it, this particular scenario, to apply this cart level discount on each and every line item so that in case of returns nothing goes wrong.
Sorry. Rajesh, I'm just complicating the things here as well. So maybe there could be also a scenario wherein, say, suppose you have 4 line items and you give a discount of say $10 each, probably a total cart discount of 40, which needs now to be distributed like $10 each at a line level. What in case if there is one of the line items at a price of $8?
Yeah, no, it needs to be percentage attribute, how its subtotal and quantity attribute to the grand total needs to be the same percentage of the discount.
Okay.
Because it's a tricky one too, because if you're anything like us, you've got some really, really small, cheap items.
So I would like to just go ahead, Campbell.
I was just going to say it would be difficult to attribute correctly one discount over multiple items. So if you've got one item for $400 and one item for 4 cents,
yeah, exactly.
How would you cope with that?
Yes,
it can't be $50 off each.
Exactly. That was my example as well. So what in case if your discount percentage that you're going to do? I don't know. Maybe Rajesh, yes, maybe you can answer this.
So there are 2 levels of promotion. One is the catalog level and second one is the cart level. the item which Khushbu already added into the cart, the original price was $400, but due to the catalog level discount, that item is displaying at $360, correct? And here at the item level, we can see there is no discount displaying at all, correct? Only the 360 complete amount is displayed after applying the catalog level, correct? Now this product is into the cart. Okay, so for this particular card, the product price is $360, and we just assume now there is one more item into the cart, and suppose the product price is $100. Okay, now in cart there is two items, one is the $100 and second one is the $360. Now Khushbu applied this all 20 coupon, correct? In that case, now the 20% discount is applied over the cart value, not on the individual item value. So means 460, total price is $460. On $460, there will be 20% discount applied. Okay. Now I come to the order XML part, where we are saying that against a particular item level, we just need the discount attribute, so that we can same thing we can manage into the AX side.
Do you want me to open that XML?
So what we will do in that case, because the discount will be in percentage only, correct? So if we are saying that is the 20% first scenario, and second scenario is saying, suppose we are just giving $10 static discount, correct? So in that case also we will first calculate the percentage, and based on the percentage we will distribute that amount into the each line level item, and will provide you into the XML. That's it. So at the Magento side, it will be at cart level. At the AX side also, it will be displayed as item level, but equally distributed. So means if there is a 10% discount, then 10% discount will be on all cart items, not on single cart item. Okay.
So ideally, in this case, what you're saying is that whatever might be the discount, whether it's in percentage or whether it's at cart level, so at the back end, when you're sending the information back to AX, so it will be calculated on percentage basis and distributed individually at the line item.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's also
in those line item, even if we take the example of this wristband, it already has a catalog promotion applied, but still that cart discount would be applied to this product as well. If it comes in the cart.
Correct.
So instead of like $10, it could be more than like 15 or so. It could be a possibility that the final price of this value will be $350, which that is like instead of $10 off, it would be like 12 or so.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to jump in. Yeah. Sorry about that. Because we have to attend to another meeting in the next 1 minute.
Sure.
So I think we're not able to complete the discussion that need to be carried on. So can we have that meeting on next Monday, say 9:30 a.m. Hong Kong time?
Can we have it tomorrow? We would like to close, especially this order extension, William, by this week itself.
Right, because tomorrow and Friday is a public holiday in Hong Kong, so...
And Monday's a public holiday in Queensland.
Can you guys please attend?
New Zealand will be here.
You've been away for a month.
Okay.
Can we
So
have
in
it
that case,
tomorrow?
later in the day, is it possible?
Today itself?
Yeah, I mean later today.
We are fine if everyone is available. I'll just set up based on your availability, whatever time you say, and everyone is comfortable with. The only point is we would like to get closed of this order handling scenarios as early as possible, because it takes some time for us as well for procurement and everything.
Yeah, New Zealand's available.
Okay. So is it okay to have this extension meeting at like 3:30 p.m. Hong Kong time?
Today? Yeah, we are good. How about Australia and everyone?
That's 2 hours from now, right?
That's right.
Yep, I can do that.
Yep, no problem for New Zealand.
Okay,
Great.
I'll just set it up then.
I'm not sure if... Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm just looking at Janice and see if she's available.
Okay, Janice, are you available?
Yes, she
Yeah,
is.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'll just set it up for 3:30 p.m. Hong Kong time.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
guys.
so
Thank you.
much,
See you soon.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.